What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You know, I've had my T2 cabinet for a while now, and the number one comment I get from all of you is that I should paint the guns black. And I agree. It's the way it looked on the original cabinet. It's going to make them look a lot less toy-like. But you know me, I can't just paint it black and call it done. So we're going to do another modification that's really going to light these guns up. Okay, so the light we're going to use for this mod is going to be some of this neon LED strip light that I picked up on Amazon. A link for this will be in the description below. This is basically just a 5-volt LED strip housed in this rubberized flexible coating that's going to allow the light to shine up through the edge. I have blue and obviously red, one for each gun. It is trimmable to length, and it's going to come with this USB end that you're going to cut to expose the 2 wires that we're going to need for this modification. Alright, so let's head on over to the cabinet and get started. Alright, so once you have your LED strip cut, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the gun here temporarily so that we can take a look at some of the wiring options you have, and there are a few. So just for reference, right now I'm plugged into the cabinet is powered on, and that means that we're sending 5 volts to the gun. So this is the main cable coming in, it goes to your camera first, and then it feeds this PCB. So option 1 is you can take the 2 wires. On this connection here, the bottom is going to be 5 volts ground and the top is 5 volts positive. You can simply plug in your wires here, and what's going to happen is you're going to have your LED strip illuminated whenever the cabinet is on. So just sitting there idle, it's going to stay on. But what if you don't like that look? What if you want something a little bit different? You can take this red wire or black wire. Just pay attention to which connection you're making on the motor. If you go to the far left, that's going to be your 5 volt positive. So what you can do is you can leave your black wire here, come over to the left side of the motor connection, and then every time you push the trigger or pull the trigger, it's going to illuminate. So that's just a different option. Depends on what you're going for, but personally I like the way it looks when it's just sitting there idle glowing. So this is what I'm going to go with. And to make this connection, you can do a couple different things. You could solder if you wanted to this little PCB, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to get a replacement if something does go bad. So what I'm going to do is just twist these up real tight, push them into the connector, and then put a little hot glue on this when I'm installing the LED strip, just to keep those in place. It's something that I can easily undo if there is an issue with this PCB and I have to remove it. Okay, here you can see that the gun is painted black on the outside, left the red on the inside. I did strip it down all the way, removed all the components, but I didn't feel the need to go ahead and paint all the inside. Also helps me remember this is a red gun. You can see this is the strip glued in place. Copious amounts of hot glue. It's not too messy, it's not too bad. You're going to have an issue maybe taking out this green wire for the switch back here, but beyond that, everything else is still easily removable. You can see that I had to take a few chunks out of the red portion of the LED strip to kind of get that to fit nice and flush. You hold the motor down, you can flip it around on the other side. You're going to see a little bit of white, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I don't mind that contrast. It looks pretty good. I also did on both guns, I left the switch in the gun color just so it sort of stands out. The button here was always black for your grenades, but your hand rests up there so you know where that's going to be. Put that back inside. You can see that just a little bit of hot glue I put on the connector there to kind of keep our wires in place. And the last modification is going to be the addition of a few weights. You've probably seen other people use these. These are just wheel weights you can buy on Amazon fairly cheaply. They are 1 ounce weights. I have 2. Depends on what you want. If you want a little more weight than it, you can obviously do more, but I'll put this on the other side of the gun. It's not going to interfere with any of these components at all. So 1 ounce up there and there, and now it is time to put this all together, plug it in, and see how the cabinet looks. Okay, so I think this turned out really, really well. Are they necessary? Absolutely not. But LED lights, as you know, makes everything better. So beyond what you saw in the video, what did I have to do? I did have to take my oscillating tool and just clearance just a little bit of the plastic on each gun half to accommodate the thickness of that LED. So it's really just a matter of trimming that down just wide enough so that that can stick out of the gun. But once you sandwich it together, it holds everything nice and firm. And I mean, I gotta say this looks great. It's not really distracting unless you're playing at night. It does shine a little bit, but beyond that, you can see they show up also with the lights on. So I really love the way this turned out. It's something cool that I think that, man, it would have been nice if Arcade1up could have done this, but it is what it is. I think going with the black color, obviously, as many of you have said, is definitely the way to go. So even if you're just going to paint these things black, it's going to improve the look of the cabinet. You couple that with the cable mod, and then of course throwing some LEDs on there, it doesn't hurt anyway. Also, adding the weights is just a great thing to increase the quality feel of the guns. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.